conspiracy theory is a theory that there is someone bigger that is pulling the strings.
There are wealthy, powerful families that control everything.
The Nazis are coming, they're here.
Our elections were stolen.
You devil-worshipping Satanist witch!
The rule of law in this country has been eliminated.
There's money to be made here.
People are dying that don't need to.
They are trying to manufacture anger.
I lost everything I ever worked for.
I miss my dad all the time.
This is really pulling people in.
I'm never gonna talk to him again.
Joe, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jeff, in Las Vegas. Thank you for joining me this morning to talk about Shadowland on streaming on Peacock TV.
Cool. Well, how are things in Vegas today?
Oh, great. And the town's on fire. The Las Vegas Aces, our WNBA, won the championship, our first national title. So the town is having a good time right now, Joe.
That's great, man. Congrats.
Thank you. And congratulations on Shadowland. What a fascinating docuseries. 6-part docuseries. It had its inspirations from The Atlantic, didn't it?
Yeah, The Atlantic did an online special project series of articles exploring this idea of how conspiracy thinking has moved from kind of the fringes of society to the mainstream. And to me, that was fascinating. As a documentarian, I'm always wrestling with the idea of the nature of truth. And I thought it would be an interesting jumping off point, their reporting, to do something in a docuseries. But instead of just kind of pointing a finger and saying these guys are weird and they're wrong, and I wanted to take a more empathetic and human approach. And I sent a bunch of filmmakers out into the country to, spend a lot of time with people who think very differently than we do. When I say we, I mean me and my team. And I wanted to try to understand why people think so differently, because I think it's the foundation of democracy basically is people coming together with different views, but agreeing on basic facts and doing what's best for the collective good. And we live in a society now where the political and civil discourse is at an all-time low. We've divided into two camps. We vilify one another. You just have to turn on, the cable channels and toggle between Fox and CNN to just see how opinion and conversation is at an all-time low. We're out to vilify one another. So I'm trying to understand why we've gotten to this place, and that's really the point of the series.
Now conspiracy theories have gone mainstream, and I would think, is social media partially to blame? Because before there used to be just rumors, but now the people can gather on social media to express their opinions in these theories. Do you think they're partially to blame, social media?
Oh, absolutely. The unfettered amount of unregulated information that flows in social media. I mean, it's a very perplexing thing. When I was a kid, this device, this iPhone, the only people who are personal communicators were the people on Star Trek. It's amazing that we take it for granted. I can find any bit of information I want. It's immediately. I don't have to wait to go home and pull out my encyclopedia. But the downside of that is there's just information overload and lots of incorrect information. So we've never had more information at our fingertips, and yet the truth has never been more elusive. And also, we confirm our opinions. The great thing about social media and the internet in general is you can reach out and find people with similar interests, similar points of view. That has been a great connector of people. And yet we've never been more disconnected as a society from one another, because you go to these sources of information and, you don't know what's true or not. And I think that social media is one of the major causes of this. But I also look back, there was a time when there was only 3 television networks, and the dividing line between the news division and the entertainment division was very firm. And at a certain point, because of the realization that they can sell ads and worry about ratings and the whole cable universe exploding, that line between news and entertainment has gotten very blurry over the decades. And when that intersected with social media, it just became a free-for-all for misinformation and people not really knowing what the truth is.
Reminds me of that movie, Patty Chayefsky's script for the network in 1974, where entertainment and news merged together. And that was a real, really showed what the things to come, didn't it?
Exactly. That movie, in fact, was very prescient. It's a movie I talk about all the time. So I agree with you.
And not only is it tearing society apart, Joe, but also families and friends too. It trickles on down. Sometimes when I hear people, family and friends bring up these theories, I mean, how are you going to change their minds? You can't. So you just kind of I don't know how you don't belong anymore.
Yeah, no, it's we show in the series, a mother in New Orleans who is divorcing her husband and seeking custody of her children because of her husband's QAnon beliefs, and that it's tearing that family apart. We see dissension at the local political level. We cover school board meetings. At school board meetings, when they used to be talking about, raising money to put in a new athletic field, it's become heated battlegrounds. And school board members sometimes walk out of school board meetings and feel that they're taking their life into their hands and are getting death threats in the parking lot. We are a country that has divided into two camps. Half the country looks up and says the sky is red, and we vilify each other. And recent history has shown us that when a population divides into two camps and sees each other as caricatures and evil, which is how we think of one another, you just have to again flip through the cable stations and listen to some of the dialogue. It produces terrible results. It produces violence, genocide, political violence. It's not a good situation that we're in.
And finally today, Joe, I've always been under the idea that people should be accountable for what they say. I'm all a believer in the First Amendment, but when you have downright lies, when you don't have facts to back it up, I think that what people say should have consequences at one point. Don't you agree?
Well, I do think that there are a lot of people who are promoting conspiracy theories who know better. There are political leaders who know better. There are people in Congress who know better. I think there are people who are selling products who know better and fan the flames to sell products. I think you have to distinguish between those people and people who truly, genuinely believe these alternative views. And that's the troubling thing. There are so many regular people out there. This is what we've learned from the docuseries. There are so many regular people out there who hold these deep beliefs, and so to me, how you do it, I'm not that smart to tell you, but the people who knowingly are promoting a lie for financial and political gain, they absolutely need to be held accountable. But the people who truly believe, like in the show, we spend time with a rural Pennsylvania pizza shop owner who, if you had pulled into her shop and had a slice of pizza and a conversation with her, you'd think she was just kind of normal, salt of the earth American, good person. Not that she's a bad person, but she also is somebody who, showed up in January 6th calling for Nancy Pelosi's head. But she deeply believes there's a deep state functioning and that the country has been stolen. And so, do we hold those people responsible who are victims of information that they should not be viewing as the truth, but they do? Or do you hold the people who are promoting that information? I think it's the latter, obviously.
Well, Joe, incredible docuseries, Shadowland, streaming on Peacock TV. Always a thrill speaking to you, my friend. And let's do it again soon.
Great. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Take care.